everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're just meeting me for the first time, hi, my name is Ebony and this channel is all about productivity and wellness with a spiritual spin. Today's video is part 2 on oracle cards. In part 1 I shared my 3 oracle card decks, the Moonology oracle, the Starseed oracle and a Yogic Path oracle. Today in part 2, I want to show you a quick and easy way to use oracle cards and how to read multiple decks together at the same time. I'll also add a tarot card to the mix and see how that goes. I hope you find it helpful and that it gives you the confidence to try these beautiful and ancient practices yourself. If you do enjoy today's video, please click that like button down below and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to support this channel. Now let's get straight into today's video and read some oracle cards. So I've just drawn one card from each deck, just so we can look up the meanings and compare them all and see how they connect together. So, you may not always want to do this, but I thought it would be an interesting way to look at the differences between each deck, and then maybe I'll draw a tarot card as well and get some further guidance that way. So we'll start with a Yogic Path. I've got the Guidebook here. Pitta, the fiery dosha, powerful, strong-willed and feisty. Upright. Fire and water are the two most powerful elements that can create and destroy anything. Together they create Pitta, which is empowering you today. You are in a determined place in your life. You know what you want and a fire has been set under your seat to achieve it. You are setting goals for yourself and focused on the task at hand. Perhaps this is the time to engage as a leader and teach others your strength and wisdom. You are transforming the world with your actions. Just don't lose connection with the water within you and remember to play. Beautiful. I don't know who of you out there connects with that. If you do, please let me know down below. I feel like I really do connect with that. So now I'll look up conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse in the Moonology book. Conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse, and just like that a door slams shut. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking is about to reach a peak or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be the key to resolving this situation in a positive way. It doesn't make it right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. Attuned to the moon. That which is meant for me will not pass me by. Additional meanings for this card. Doors which slam shut now will not reopen. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, pranayama and yoga nidra are all recommended now. Cede control and let events unfold. The teaching. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you of that fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. Cool. So that's that one there. And last but not least, we have the Starseed Oracle Guidebook. The Blue Flame. Spontaneous awakening, activation, interrogation time. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of a spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we're going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical Kundalini awakening and deep cellular and DNA healing. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure, and how we can make sense of the world. This isn't easy. The awakening process, even when it's spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate, and awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. If you're in the midst of an awakening, the process never ends. Treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. Starseed activation. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following: I allow myself to surrender to the awakening process that's right for me. I take things slowly and integrate my experience each and every day. Okay, so if we think about what the essence of each of the cards mean, and we also consider what our thoughts are when we look at each of the cards, our own interpretation, and use our own imagination, we might be able to piece together a story. So it may be easier to find sort of a story in the way that you do with tarot when you're working with just one deck. But how does it work when you want to work with different decks all together at the same time? Really, it comes down to following your intuition, using your imagination, and having fun with it. That's how I see it. The point is taking the themes of each card, taking the meanings that you discern from each card, and forming them together to make some kind of sense to you in your life or to the person you're reading for. So what I gather from these three cards, the thoughts formulating in my mind just off the top of my head, it seems like conclusions within reach, doors slamming shut, leaving that behind, and moving forward leads to awakening. The fact that you have to reach those conclusions in order to awaken. So by shutting those doors, you are moving on and you are reawakening. You're waking up to whatever reality it is that you haven't faced yet, that you need to face. You have to shut those doors and you have to move forward. As for this card here, this card speaks about being in a determined place in your life. A fire has been set under your seat to achieve what you want. It's about setting goals for yourself and keeping focused. It's about using your strength and wisdom to be a leader. So really, this card speaks of moving forwards as well. It speaks of making plans and sticking to them and remaining focused. So what this is telling me is that I am determined in my life right now, and maybe whoever's watching this might be too, determined to set goals and stick with them, to maintain focus, to be strong-willed, to lead the way in strength and wisdom. And in order to do those things, I have to let those doors shut. I have to leave the past behind. I have to reach the conclusions. I have to be strong. I have to move forward and shut those doors, and I have to embrace the awakening that follows. So that's how I see it. Like I said, you might see it completely different, but that's how I see it. I see it as taking the themes from each and piecing them together to form some kind of story, some kind of guidance for where I am right now. I mean, that is a lot of information to work with all three at once when I'm very new to all three. It's a lot. But even, putting the guidebooks down and away and just looking at the pictures, what can you tell just from looking at the pictures? Because there's symbology here. I think some it's very hard to interpret, but this one, for instance, this to me represents an open door, a new beginning, an awakening. Because of the blue light that you're going towards through the door, it's an awakening, a spiritual awakening. It has that spirituality element to it, being that it's all about the light. And I get sort of a vibe of auras and so on, and moving towards something really powerful. And that's what the awakening talks about in the guidebook. It talks about spontaneous awakening, but activating as well, embracing spirituality in my eyes. That's how I see that card. I see that as a spiritual awakening, moving towards spirituality, moving towards a new beginning, an open door. Whereas this is talking about conclusions and shutting doors. So in order to move forward, we must shut the doors of the past. We have to reach those conclusions. And this card speaks to the strength, the focus, the setting of goals and sticking to them. This card is the how. This card is the catalyst that leads to the change, that reaches those conclusions, that opens that door. So, the more you look at them, the more you learn about the decks themselves, the more you'll find, the more meaning you'll find, and the more you'll be able to piece them together. If we go a step further and we also bring in tarot, then I have no doubt that we'll find greater clarity. So I'll now draw a tarot card. What are we missing here? What is the missing piece to this puzzle? We have 3 cards here. We need one more to piece it together. Oh, that one it is. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm not going to look it up yet because first I want to see if I can piece together the story just by looking at the image. Just looking at what we've got here. We have water. We have lots of stones in the water. We have 1 foot on ground, 1 foot in the water. We have a road leading to a mountain and the sun setting. We have some kind of angel wearing a beautiful robe. We have flowers in bloom. And he's filling between 2 cups. So he's placing water in 1 cup from the other. Before I tell you what card this is, what do you see? So this card is Temperance. It speaks of self-control, compromise, moderation and virtue. It talks about harmony and understanding. I feel like the Temperance card here ties together the themes already presented. It gives us another piece to the puzzle, and using this we can help figure out, what these cards are trying to tell us. Temperance is all about balance, finding the middle ground, finding the middle way. In order to get to your destination or to reach your goals or to answer your questions, you have to find the middle way. You have to find self-control and balance. Here he is with his 2 cups, very peaceful, very harmonious. He doesn't look phased at all, he's very calm. And that is kind of the opposite energy to the Peter card, because Peter was talking about strength and focus. And self-control and focus go hand in hand, but I think the key thing here is balance. You can't have strength and not also have balance if you want to reach your goals. Another key point with this card is that it talks about and it shows you that in order to reach those conclusions, in order to reawaken, in order to reach those goals, it doesn't require just strength. It also requires temperance. It also requires finding the middle ground, finding balance. And if you find the middle way, you will achieve those goals. If you find that balance, if you have self-control and moderation, you can be stronger, you can reach those goals, you can reach those conclusions, you can reawaken. It all ties in together. I wonder if that resonates with anyone watching this. I feel like it resonates with me. The more you look into it, the more you read about these meanings, the more you understand each deck on its own and in conjunction with each other, the easier it is to piece that together, to piece together an idea of how these cards all act together to form some sort of guidance for you or whoever you're reading for, or to answer some kind of question that has been asked. This is just a general reading and I'm very new to all of these cards. I'm still learning tarot as well. So as you get to know it better, as I get to know it better, I can read into the cards a lot more. It takes time and practice, but at the end of the day, I find this a very fascinating pastime. I'm really enjoying learning about all of these things, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video as well, and I hope that you've learnt a little bit from it. Use your imagination, use your intuition. What does your intuition tell you about these cards today? If you have a different reading or different interpretation, please leave it in a comment down below or message me. I'd love to hear from you guys, as always. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you've enjoyed looking at these different oracle cards and the differences between them and the similarities in the way that they can work together as well. I'd love to do more readings and learn a lot more about how to do readings for other people as well. It would be really fun. I really am enjoying learning about these things and becoming more spiritual, I guess, in a way. I find it really fascinating, these ancient practices of oracle and tarot and divination. Like tea leaf reading last week was just so much fun. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying watching the videos and learning with me. I'd love to know your experiences, and I'd love to know if you give oracle cards a try, if you've tried them and tarot, which is your favorite. Do you prefer tarot or do you prefer oracle cards? Do you use them together like I have here today? Let me know down below. I'd love to connect with you all. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!